Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Daki, and I would love to welcome everyone to episode 9 of Daki Time. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for clicking on this video and watching it. I hope you enjoy your stay here. Hopefully this won't go for too long. I do have a topic, an interesting, juicy topic that does open up many other topics. But it has been on my mind for some time, so I want to really crack on with this, guys, and I want to put it to you guys. I want to put the question and topic to you guys and see what you guys think as well, because to me this is very interesting. And the topic is, the question or topic, I guess, is a little bit broad, but I'll explain what I mean. I'll explain what I mean here, basically. And the topic is, what is the future for World of Warcraft, not Battle for Azeroth, but what is to come after Battle for Azeroth? And I'd like to start by saying, Ian Hazzikostas has hinted, and the dev team have hinted many of times, that Battle for Azeroth is not the end of World of Warcraft. The next expansion is not the end of World of Warcraft. They've extended all of this to basically say that there's going to be many stories to tell, and they're not even looking at the end plans of World of Warcraft yet. You got to understand, they've got to devote pretty much an entire expansion here to tying up all loose ends if they were ever to close off World of Warcraft. There's no point in basically, let's say, the end of Battle for Azeroth here. We go out, we deal with Azshara, and then that's it. No. So there's plans down the track. But what are those plans, ladies and gentlemen? What are the plans for the future of World of Warcraft? And this is very interesting to me. So let's rewind time, basically, and go back to Cataclysm, the end of Cataclysm. We basically tie up loose ends with Deathwing. Deathwing has now been dealt with. We know where he's gone and everything like that, and we've dealt with Cataclysm. But then that leads us into the events of Mists of Pandaria. And long story short is, we found the Isles, the Mists of Pandaria, the Pandaren Isles, and we go there and we deal with all this, and that opens up the opportunity for Garrosh, the war chief of the Horde, the leader of the Horde here, to basically take the heart of Y'Shaarj and do his bidding, basically, to do the events that he did, and that led us, the Alliance, to go and help and defeat Garrosh, with the Horde as well. I mind you, it wasn't just the Horde versus the Alliance then, but basically we had to go and deal with Garrosh. Basically, the Horde were the antagonists at the time. So we deal with Garrosh, we capture him at the end of Siege of Orgrimmar, and what that really does is then that opens up the opportunity for a particular Bronze Dragon to release him from prison, and they go back in time to an alternate Draenor. And this, once again, leads us into the Horde being the protagonist again. We still have to go and chase down Garrosh, basically. So we go back through the portal, we deal with the events in Warlords of Draenor, we try and stop the Iron Horde and everything that goes about that, and we are successful. Garrosh, we defeat Garrosh in alternate Draenor, but that really does open up the opportunity for Gul'dan to take the center stage here, and right at the end of Warlords of Draenor, Gul'dan does get sent back through to our timeline via the aid of Archimonde. So we know that is the established sort of what is going on. So transfers from Mists of Pandaria into Warlords of Draenor being two expansions that the Horde are generally the antagonists. Then you've got Legion, which Gul'dan basically resurrects the Burning Legion or brings it forth to our world, and we have to deal with all that. Would you clarify that as the Horde being the antagonist in Legion? Probably not initially, but when you go through the storyline, it is very clear and evident that Sylvanas is putting in plans for something very sly. So I would really call Legion a bit of a sort of expansion there about who is the antagonist in that. But then when you see what Battle for Azeroth brings forth, or at the end of Legion into Battle for Azeroth, you do see that Sylvanas has implemented a lot of plans, and she continues to implement a lot of plans. From an Alliance point of view, she is the one that we are basically most dealing with, and you can see the plans through the raids and the storytelling that's the direction we're heading. So basically, you've got Mists of Pandaria, Warlords of Draenor, possibly Legion, and now Battle for Azeroth, that the Horde are the main antagonists here. They are the main big bad guys. Other than the Burning Legion, yeah, I get that, I understand that. We dealt with that, and we, dealt with the Seat of the Pantheon up in there, and that wasn't really dealing with the Horde as such. I understand that, but you got to understand, from a different point of view here, the Alliance have not been the big bad guys, really. We've done some questionable things and we've done some really nice things, but none of our leaders have really been the big bad evil in an expansion. So this is what I'm saying, guys, with the future of World of Warcraft, is what direction is it really going to head overall storytelling-wise? Let's say we deal with Azshara. Now, I'm just going to say right now, I don't think we're going to kill Azshara, guys. I think that's a topic for another Daki time, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But we're not going to kill Azshara. Azshara is going to live at the end of this expansion. You mark my words, and there's reasons for this. But long story short is, we deal with Azshara. Let's say we have to deal with N'Zoth, which I don't think is going to happen. But let's say we have to deal with N'Zoth. Basically, what's the next expansion really going to look like? So we've got a slight old god theme here going on. But what happened to the Void at the end of Legion? What happened to all those, the new models the dev team put in, all the storytelling and building up of the Void, and Xal'atath, which has all new dialogue coming into the end of this expansion, or possibly next expansion? Guys, you got to understand that there's so much story arcing here pointing to the Void. And who really connects to the Void right now is Illyria Windrunner, who is part of the Alliance. So you've got to really understand that the next expansion could quite possibly be centered around the Void, and with that, Illyria could become an antagonist, being pushed to insanity. There's quite a few things that you could really take out of this, but long story short, what I'm trying to get at here, guys, is I don't think the Horde are going to be antagonists for much longer. They've had their time. They've had their rule, if you want to so speak. Basically, the Horde have had 3 out of the 4 expansions just recently as being one of their leaders, as being one of the guys or peoples or women that have been like, hang on a minute, you guys, you're doing something bad. We need to deal with this, basically. Nothing in the last 4 expansions have we basically said King Varian Rin or Anduin Win we have to go and deal with. No, that hasn't happened. So, or Gen Greymane, they've had their story arcs, but they haven't been the main villain of the expansion. So, with that said, my thought is that the Alliance are going to be the big bad guys in the next expansion. Whether it be Void-themed, Old God-themed, depending on how the end of Battle for Azeroth really falls down, I really do feel like it's Alliance's time to have some conflict, civil war, unrest. You got to understand that it's a to and fro, it's a balancing act here, and if we can't always pin everything wrong on the Horde are trying to survive, and in their minds they're doing the right things, whether Sylvanas is doing it for the right reasons or not. But you got to understand, I absolutely believe that we are not going to kill Azshara. I think she's got a bigger stage ahead of her, basically. But I do think that we are either going to deal with the Old God theme or the Void theme in the next expansion, and it's going to have to be an Alliance villain, basically, I think it is. With that said, that is just general speculation. Further details, I'd have to sit down and really sort of ponder and think, but I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments section down in this video. Let me know on my Discord channel, or just send me a message, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you think that the Alliance are going to be the villains in the next expansion? Do you think we're going to be dealing with the Void? And with that comes Illyria Windrunner into her own right. So the stage has been set, and it's being prepared, basically. Depending on how the end of Battle for Azeroth really happens, depends on how this next expansion goes. That's obvious. But, long story short, guys, have a nice day, and thank you so much for coming and watching this video. Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming and watching this video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see the rest of these videos and keep up to date with what I'm doing. Thanks all, and see you next time.